President Cyril Ramaphosa says he will not back down from the impeachment process against the public protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane. He has also made it clear he will not withdraw his notice of intention to suspend her. This after Mkhwebane ordered him to do so, saying he had a conflict of interest due to her ongoing and previous investigations of his alleged wrongdoings. Speaking through attorneys in a letter dated the 23rd of March, Ramaphosa said he did not accept this and would forge ahead with the motion of fitness to hold office in terms of Section 193 of the Constitution. Joining me now on this is political analyst Ongama Mtimka. Mr. Mtimka, a pleasure to have you on the program this afternoon. Firstly, what do you make of the President's decision to forge ahead with his intention to suspend Mkhwebane?
Good evening to you and your viewers, Nhlanhla. Thanks for having me. So the first comment I'd like to make is in relation to where South Africa is as a result of, these developments. Remember that the section in our constitution, we have state institutions supporting democracy under Chapter 9 of our constitution. And I think in Section 194 it deals with removal of any of the people who lead those institutions. Now, what's been interesting in the last decade or so has been the rapid way in which the ways in which Parliament and Chapter 9 institutions relate, as well as the ways in which Parliament and the executive relate, and in the institutional design or making and remaking that has brought us here has been quite interesting. On the part of Thuli Madonsela, the role of, for example, remedial action by public protectors became affirmed by courts that Parliament didn't have an option to disregard those. What we are seeing with the legacy of Busisiwe Mkhwebane in office is that the relations between Parliament and Chapter 9 institutions have been defined a lot further, and I think that this makes for a stronger democracy in terms of which people who act within these institutions or levels of government are going to be very conscious of the legislative or limitations on their power going forward, that they don't abuse power, they don't act in bad faith, among other things. As far as the President's concerned, I think that the law is very clear that I think it's Section 194 of the Constitution and subsection 3A so subsection 3A, which says that the President may suspend a person from office at any time after the start of proceedings of a committee of the National Assembly for the removal of that person. I know that there's been correspondence sent to the President to say Parliament is going to be starting the process. So that meets the requirements for the action that the President is taking. However, I don't think that when there's a mess in reality, we must try and correct that mess through our speaking. The President does have a potential conflict of interest given the fact that a concern has been raised and a lodgement has been made within the Public Protector's Office for his investigation. That, despite the fact that you have a public protector who has been found to have acted in bad faith and therefore meets the criteria for removal from office, doesn't say that the President doesn't have a potential conflict. And so I think that there may be some grounds for exploration of the tensions here between what the subsection 194 3A mandates the President to do in this context, which is legitimate, and the fact that the President faces a potential investigation. And the tentative nature of that subsection, which says may suspend, suggests that it is within it's the choice of the President. Does he have an incentive to suspend? Absolutely, and one may say is justified or not justified. That's beyond besides the point. Right. But another incentive would be obviously to prevent Busisiwe Mkhwebane from undertaking the investigation. Whether that potential conflict of interest affects what otherwise is actually a clear case issue against Busisiwe Mkhwebane, that's something which is, I think, can be evaluated in a court of law should Busisiwe Mkhwebane want to pursue the matter.
Now, Ongama, we are fast running out of time, but I also want to pick your brain about Mkhwebane's own response. At this point, it would seem that very clear that the impeachment process against the public protector will actually go forward. But the public protector has also argued that Ramaphosa is not legally entitled or even competent to take any steps in line with this section 1943A of the Constitution. In just under a minute, give us your assessment of Mkhwebane's remarks.
I think that's a foolhardy comment to say is not legally entitled. The section in the Constitution is very clear, as well as in the Public Protector Act. I think, though, the question around integrity should be what she can focus on if she wants to challenge this matter. And I think that chances of success may be limited given the evidence of wrongdoing on her part, which has been proved by no less than the Constitutional Court of the Republic 2 years ago, where she was found to have, had some falsehoods, acted in bad faith, among other things.
Ongama Mtimka there giving us his perspective on the president deciding to forge ahead with the notice of intention to suspend the public protector, Busisiwe Mkhwebane.